right, mates. Uncle Jimmy here. Some of you might be surprised to know this is me real voice. This is how I really talk. Not like that bloke Uncle Jimmy, how that Whitlock makes me talk. But let me tell you something. Welcome to the best of Fearless featuring that blinding Jason Whitlock. Well, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you the best of all of the shows that you may have missed. Alright, what do you think about that there, mate?
The modern day People's Temple is the BLM, LGBTQ+, DNC, Alphabet Mafia. It's a cult of atheist political activists who preach anti-American sentiment as a way of pushing Marxism. Your preacher, yes, your preacher, is likely a brainwashed member of this cult. If he's not a member, he's probably a sympathizer who fails to recognize the danger of his sympathy. Or he's just a bad minister who lacks the courage and resolve to stick to the gospel. The promise of man-made utopia and the demonization of America's failures are a shortcut for building a following.
God's intention, if you're going to put your eggs in any basket, it would be the local church, where the local church lives out this godly life and the government is supportive of that community, but the government doesn't become that community. Now, let me go to the danger, because
Hold for 1 second before you get to the danger, because I saw Anthony nodding his head in approval. Is there something you wanted to add to that?
Absolutely. I mean, as exactly what he just mentioned about the church, but about government, it is not to be invasive, to keep God's purpose and God's plan for man to get in the way of that. So God has a kingdom, a global kingdom mindset for his people, and he has evidenced that through his church. He did not want the government to be that. Now, he has established government for governing purposes, as he mentioned, to stop crime and keep us managed, etc. But we live by a higher calling.
It's possible to say that something is someone's fault, but just because they caused it doesn't mean that they're going to come back and fix it. So it may be their fault, but it's my problem now. And the question is whether or not I'm going to do my part to address my problem, or whether I'm just going to wait on somebody else to come and do it for me. And to the extent that that plays out in other areas of society, particularly in our community, as I said, we're just going to have trouble, and we're going to be having these same conversations for the next 30, 40, 50 years until our leadership class, the heads of the NAACP, the people who run media companies, the Root, the Griot, the Roland Martins of the world, the Joy Reids of the world, the Ta-Nehisi Coates, the Ibram Kendis, the Jamel Hills, until those people are at a point where they can start saying,
Smoked it out of him, Jim.
USA! Love it.
USA. Honest to goodness, her joy jumps through the television screen. You can feel her emotion and energy. Her authenticity exposes the robotic fraudulence of the protesters who plot their actions for weeks. I tweeted out yesterday, I don't know where it was from, but it was like a bunch of 4- and 5-year-old kids.
I saw that mess, bro.
In the hood,
Oh, man.
grinding on each other to music. Twerking and all that stuff. And
Boys humping on the young girls backing it up. Oh,
yeah.
4- or 5-year-old kids, man.
And literally, Jim, that's on us.
Each one of them parents
No.
need their ass whooped for letting their kids do that mess.
I get it. But
Come on, man.
You can blame those parents.
Who the hell was who videoed that?
Jim, it's on all of us.
God.
Where did we think this was going when we allowed promoted, celebrated, danced to all that trifling music? I was the first person that I knew on Ball Stage campus with an NWA cassette tape.
Okay.
Gangsta Gangsta, you remember that song?
It's 2020, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm still horny.
Me so horny.
I'm just telling you.
We've gone from hundreds of relevant teams to 100 to 40, and I think eventually we'll just have a top 20, and it'll just be some sort of just small club for the top players. And I think that could winnow out a lot of the interest in the sport. And meanwhile, these athletes, we saw a high school kid leaving high school in Texas, not graduating, or passing on his senior year so that he could go to play for Ohio State next year. Alabama quarterback's already got $1 million in endorsements. Again, amateurism's got lots of problems, but it also works at the same time. And so, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of millions and billions of dollars out there even. And so for me to claim that the athletes shouldn't get any of it is certainly not something I want to claim. I'm just saying that the spirit is going to go. I mean, the spirit's gone in the Olympics, and I think college football is about to go the same direction.
When is it ever going to stop? Are people in the congregation, are they all asleep at the wheel? They're all playing. A lot of ministers are playing from this Jim Jones playbook. Maybe they're not going to build a communist paradise in Guyana, but they're teaching from the same playbook.
Now, the other group, which is a much smaller group, but it's an influential group, these include ministers, pastors, members of the media, athletes, entertainers, people who head organizations and institutions that real influence in the country, and particularly in this respect within Black America. I do think that the members of that particular group are useful idiots.
Now folks is asking questions. Have I had the shot or not? Well, I got asked the question, have you heard about HIPAA? See, I'm just a brother, and I'm trying hard to get it right. But how can I, when all y'all do is lie, yo, everybody's coughing, all running up on me. Why don't they just let me live? I don't need permission, I've made my own decision. That's my prerogative. Now check this out, Jason. I don't want the people, don't get me wrong, cause y'all know that I'm stupid. And comedy, now that's my thing. But all this talk of viruses is really getting me down. Cause not too long ago, the big girls in Nashville started coming around, yo.
Go read, play, or listen to the Battle Hymn of the Republic, where the soldiers were actually singing a song that acknowledged they were sacrificing their lives so that others could live free. So everybody wants to point to America's tragedies and point, oh my God, America's terrible. They did this, they did that. People don't want to talk about what America and Americans did in order to increase freedom here in this country more than any other country on the planet. We did that. And so what I'm saying, sports have walked away from all of that, and those of us that have always liked the values preached in sports have seen NBA, NFL players and Major League Baseball, NHL, the National Hockey Association, they've all pissed on those traditional American values. They haven't suffered any consequences.
Nubby had a statue built of himself.
Yeah.
And he put it outside the federal building. And he said that all people entering the federal building must bow down and worship the statue, or they would be immediately thrown into the fiery furnace, which to me was kind of ironic because it kind of sounded like how the Democrats is kind of trying to do us now with this corona shot if we don't want to take it. You know what I mean? Okay.
Corona, George Floyd, statues. I kind of like where you're going. You're making a biblical story and applying it to today. That's good.
That's what we do here.
Yeah.
Well, the king sees what's going on. The king said, what y'all gonna do? Come on here, man. We got people lining up. Or y'all gonna bow down, or what y'all gonna do? Shadrach looked, and he said, brothers, is we down with G.O.D.? And boy, Shadrach said, yeah, you know me. As soon as he said that, man, the king threw their ass in the furnace.
There's nobody in this business that can deny I'm the best sports writer Black America has ever produced. Now, kiss my ass if you don't like it, it's facts.
Damn. Where?
And you can take the black out of it. I'm in contention for the best ever, period. But when they put me in control of the undefeated, black people ran wild on me. And did everything in their power to make sure I couldn't lead the undefeated. I was the best person for it. I was the most qualified, but ran wild on me. People I tried to help put knives in my front, back, and every place else they could. People I tried to help didn't do a damn thing to that.
Don't do
token
it. Don't do
Uncle
it.
Tom.
Don't. Come on, man. Come on. Be professional.
Greg Howard.
Damn it.
Didn't do nothing but try to help him. Stab me in the back. We can't get along for 38 seconds, and we think we can get along in life?
What did I tell you? Did I tell you that this was going to be a scorcher or what? Listen here, if you like that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and why don't some of you guys come on down and hang out with us on the old YouTube. We get on there at about 6 o'clock Central Colored People time. I believe that's what it's going to be. And we ask you guys to come out and chill with us, and I hope you enjoy the show. And maybe next time, I'll take you behind the scenes and we can go and see the big mammoth Whitlock as he devours one of the Jolly Rancher steaks.